What do you do as a team principal in last place in Monaco?
Hope that the race is finished soon. You watch the race in front and you forget about your car, because whatever happens doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, what'd you think about James Vowles texting, "I'm sorry for holding up your cars during the race"?
That he did his job. He doesn't have to apologize, but they are British, So they apologize for everything, It's like...
Lance is not the worst driver on the grid.
Ooh. I'm thinking who could be worse. Hello, Wankers. Welcome back.
What's up, Vankahs?
Hello, Vankahs. This is Vankah Hours brought to you by BetMGM. What an exciting week, guys. What an exciting week. What a race that was, huh?
Yes.
Noyoso.
Yes.
Yeah, bit of a snoozer. We're going to be getting into all that. Plus, Guenther's going to be ranking his favorite Formula One tracks. We're going to be talking what this means for McLaren, what's going on at Ferrari, what's happening with George Russell, everything and more on this episode of Vankah Hours. But before we get to that, you got to subscribe. Are you not subscribed yet? Guenther, tell these people what they need to do.
Listen to Brian Muller. Subscribe now. Otherwise, he's coming and get you. And if he doesn't get you, Matt is going to get you. And if Matt doesn't get you, I'm going to get you. So, You know what you have to do? Subscribe now.
And you'll have this entire intro song to do it. Play the music.
No Fox smash my door. I'm done the fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. No Fox smash my door. I'm done the fucking Steiner and it's time for
All right, and we are back. Okay, Guenther, let's start with this race. Monaco, as boring as it ever was, eh?
Yeah, you can say that. It wasn't boring because we all... I think we spoke a few episodes ago about the two-stop, and I said it will not work because the teams will figure it out. I mean, the race in Monaco, I think we know now, is on Saturday. If you mess up on Sunday, you cannot do anything about that, and especially now. It's just a game of chess, Who is in a position to dictate the speed, to get his teammate in a better position, but there's no overtaking. It's one of these things, and I'm always for trying different things. Try to do it. I mean, we had the same with sprint races. It was like, should we do, should we not? And that always was, yeah, let's try it. But what I always say is like, never be afraid to say, we tried it, it didn't work, let's go back. Instead of making up excuses. Two stops were tried, 2 mandatory stops were tried, I mean, I think we all can come to the conclusion it didn't work, huh?
I guess my question is how many times I think it's a good thing they tried something, but at what point do you stop trying things and you just scrap it?
I mean, at some stage, you need to do that one as well. But I think there is other things, because doing 2 pit stops is pretty easy to do. You don't have to change anything. You have to tell people, you have to change the regulation, but everybody votes anyway for it. So, but you don't have to spend money or doing anything. So I think you didn't have to spend money. It was tried. It didn't work. So next thing, I keep on saying this, Monte Carlo, I know it's very challenging with the streets and the buildings because it's so small, there is no space. But guess what? They're making Monte Carlo bigger. They're building out in the sea because otherwise, how can you get new land to sell? Or new land to sell very expensive property, and Toto needed a new house, so they built out in the sea, because he lives there now. So obviously, yeah. So the next thing they should do, they should go around Toto's house and call it the Toto Corner. Make a road. I mean, think about that. I mean,
we're increasing his property value. If the race goes through there, that'll
absolutely
help increase his.
And a lot of drivers, I think.
Portfolio.
I think a lot of drivers live out there as well now. So it would, no, but I don't know if it is possible to go out there or not, joking aside. But I think there must be, if you plan, obviously it cannot be done in 6 months. But if you plan in the next 5-10 years that there is a new building, because they will need new land to build on. And it's the only way to get land in Monte Carlo is claim it from the sea. That's what they're doing it already. I mean, everybody thinks Formula One needs Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo needs Formula One as well. So, and things have changed, and nothing has changed there, and it doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry, it does not work anymore.
Well, okay, we were talking about Toto Wolff. After the race, Toto Wolff was asked about Monaco. Any thoughts on this two-stop? This race was so bad. What Toto said was, "This is fantastic entertainment." Let me do my Toto voice. "This is fantastic entertainment here. So many people in the grandstands and on the boats, on the terraces. There's more than racing here. It's just Monaco. The sporting event is on Saturday, and there you need to do a good job." So Toto even saying, don't harsh on the vibe. Like Monaco's, it's about the party. It's about the boats. It's about the people here. Is that? I think the question is kind of like, what is the purpose of this race? What is the value of this race in the eyes of Formula One? And as we see it, it seems like the value of this race is for the rich and powerful to make deals with the rich and powerful. Is it not? Because it's certainly not for the fans.
No, but I think first let me, it is about the event, but the fans at home, they don't really care. I mean, I think there's 70,000 people there. You can get into Monaco, not more, which is not a lot of people. I mean, it's a lot of people, but it's not a lot compared with other races. If you think in Austin and Silverstone, over the 3 days, there's more than 500,000, that number. So anyway, but the fans at home, they want to see a race. They don't want to see. Obviously, it's nice to look at the nice posts of other people and be jealous about it, But how long does that last? How long attention you have got for that? And what I think now, not what I think, what a lot is happening. Deals and the rich and powerful are going also to Miami. If not only to Miami, Miami is I would say what before was everything in Monaco. Miami has taken a lot of that away because. F1 is more Americans now. Instead of traveling to Monaco, they go to Miami. Miami, you've got a good race, a good paddock, you've got space, the traffic is rolling well, you're not in the traffic for hours, and you've got Miami. Miami is pretty cool. It's different than Monaco. Monaco is maybe the old glamour. Miami is the new glamour, So a lot of deals now, corporate deals, they are done now. Like this year in Miami, everybody was there, which had some financial interest in F1, sponsorship or whatever. I mean, it's never everybody, but 90% of the people were there because it's the place to go now to do this. Because I think it's earlier in the season, it's a lot easier to access. I mean, these people don't need to save money, but still. It's bigger. You've got more space. You can bring more people if you're a corporate. You've got more hotels because in Monaco there is some fantastic hotels. It's a fantastic place, but the number is limited. I mean, if you compare the 5-star hotels from Miami then from Monaco, it's a little bit. Miami is ahead of that one quite a bit. And not that I did count the rooms, by the way. So,
but to drill down onto like the incentives here. So, like, if I want to put on a race in Austin, if I'm the race promoter in Austin, I have to pay F1, right? So that's an incentive to go. And if I'm F1, I want to go to America. I want a presence in America. I guess my question is, if I'm F1, does Monaco pay to have the race there? I know that they used to not pay for the longest time. It's not a big city. It's not a huge market. You're saying there's fewer deals. The racing isn't good. So where is the incentive still coming from, I guess is my question.
I don't know. I think the deal was redone with Monaco. I think they pay now as well.
Okay.
I say I think, I don't know. I mean, I always, we still need to get Stefan on our podcast. So as you said, in the old days, Monaco didn't pay because it was Monaco. You're allowed to come here, Right. So, but now I think everybody has to pay. So your question was, why do we still go there? It's still, it can add something, but the racing at some stage, there needs to be a plan to make it racing again and not possession. And right. I mean, there was an attempt this year with the two-stop strategy. Guess what? It didn't work. So you cannot give up now. I mean, giving up on something, that's the easiest way always to do things. I think there needs to be tried. And for me, it's I read somewhere that Alex Wurz came up with some ideas to change the 3 of the turns, the chicane, move the chicane and widen. I'm not sure that works, but for sure it would help, especially with the smaller cars coming next year, in my opinion. And maybe you could play Monaco with, because next year there is more electric power, that you have got more push to pass, because now it's limited how much you can deploy to do something with that engine that you can say you can deploy more. I don't know if you can pass if you have got maybe 100 horsepower more than another one. I don't know that, but that is all things which would need to, in my opinion, look into it. But it needs to be looked into it. I mean, and I'm not saying it works, but there is just people, like Alex Wurz said, to widen the turns. For sure it will help. Is it a solution? No, but a little bit here, a little bit there. At the end, we can get a race, because it is one of these races which they should stay around. We shouldn't say we give up on it, because it is I think it's the most historic one of all of them, and it is a cool place if you think to go racing. If you see it, it's cool. It's not cool that there's no racing. It's a procession.
How would you feel about George Russell threw this out? I was also suggesting it because just great minds think alike. That you just do 2 qualifying sessions, that it's time trials. That instead of having a race, that you just, because the thrill is kind of watching them try to go around this difficult, highly difficult and skilled track as fast as they can. Why not just do a qualifying on Saturday, a qualifying on Sunday, and just have it be maybe half points each time, and the fastest car over one lap kind of gets to have the day, because that's what happens anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right. No, I'm not against that. I think that would be I read it from what George said, and it's like, as you say, if you have 2 qualifyings, they last an hour. So you have got, instead of 1.5 hours looking at a procession, you have got an hour of adrenaline, because it is the coolest qualifying of the year. And then if you reward points for it, people will take bigger risks. And instead of an hour, because there will be some red flags, it will last 1.5 hours in the end, I mean, obviously watching a tow truck pulling a car up is not interesting, but,
But at least people are there for longer. You want people
absolutely,
to
because otherwise, exactly, justify their ticket, justify to go there. I think that's not a bad idea as well. There's just ideas like this.
I wonder, there's because in IndyCar, right, the 500 just happened. They do they do the qualifying, then they do the 10, they do the 12, the 6. They kind of split it up and make it a little bit more dramatic. You can maybe spruce up a qualifying session, so it's not just Q1, Q2, Q3. You can maybe have the top 5 guys, the top 6 guys really in a final qualifying session, so you don't have to worry about traffic, you don't have to worry about waiting for a red flag or any of that kind of crap. You can really kind of juice it up and have that be the event. What do you think?
Okay, well, I'm impressed by you,
Yes!
No, you're right. Do a qualifying, and then the top 5 go on a single lap without traffic.
Yes.
Just against the clock, just each one. First 2 qualifying like it's now, so you've got action, you got the mess, you got the unpredictability. And then the fast 5, they go out single lap. Just who's the best?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we solved it.
We fixed it, I think.
Yeah,
we fixed it.
I think.
And we wouldn't even have to build more land on the sea somehow.
We still do that one as well. But that will take anyway 10 years.
Right, and they don't want to do it. It costs too much money. They don't want to do that.
They've got money.
It's all about
money.
but they live there to hoard it. That's why they live there, dude.
That's why you think they're rich, because they don't spend it.
That's right.
That's what normally happens with rich people. Yeah.
Yeah, they just go to Monaco, the tax cheats, and they don't spend any money.
Why don't we talk a little bit about the race? We figured out our way how we're going to solve it going forward. If only Formula One would listen to us. But why don't we discuss the actual race that occurred? Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by BetMGM. Come see what's new at BetMGM. Score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up with BetMGM today and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look, same game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. This is an exciting season. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, who's going to finish? Who's going to win each race? Where's Yuki Tsunoda going to wind up? You can bet on all this with BetMGM, so do it today. Use the bonus code DADDY when signing up, and again, receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. See you out there, Vegas.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
You know, obviously the
That's
story
done.
of
We discussed the race now. It's done. It's over.
Well, there's, the Lando Norris winning the race, being first in qualifying, not completely throwing it into the wall, even though it looked like he was almost about to do that in turn one. He wins there. Oscar in third. There's been this McLaren battle. It looks like Oscar's had Lando's number ever since Australia, really. This is Lando kind of finally punching back. What do you think that this result for Lando Norris says about the Ultimate Championship?
It will get close. It will get close. It's not over, which is nice, which is perfect for us. I think Lando came back strong. And Oscar, he made a mistake in Imola. And in Monte Carlo, he was just slower than Lando. As simple as this. But it keeps it interesting. They're so close together. And maybe Lando through this got more confidence and now punches back here. You never know what is happening. But for sure, it was a good thing for Lando to happen.
So you think it's going to just be swings like this? This isn't going to be a momentum builder? You think it's going to go back and forth throughout the season?
Yes, I think so, yeah. It will go back and forward, yeah. Not one will take control because they are both very good,
It seems like it seems like more like, you go to one track and Lando is a little lost because of the way the car functions. And then you go to another track and then Oscar's a little lost. It almost seems like the way they drive the car, it's almost like which track agrees with the way they drive that car more will determine who's going to win this series.
And I think also how they deal with the weekend, finding a balance in the car, how they prepare, how happy they are, because it's so close. The season will be decided. I don't think it will be decided for a long time now. And I think also Max, I really cannot see him fighting for the championship anymore, or the other two. And I think Zach lets them race. If there's nobody coming from behind, Zach lets the two race. So I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so we were discussing this on the last episode. We were talking about whether, we'll see how fast Max is, and if he really does have speed, maybe the McLarens need to choose a driver. You think that the Monaco result from the Red Bull side of the garage means that Max Verstappen is really, you're confident that he's not in this thing, even with Spain coming up in the flexi wing situation.
Yeah, he will have a few ups, but he's not consistently there to win. While the McLarens are always there. If you look over the races, they never had a weak weekend. Yeah. They always were good, and sometimes Max was Supermax, and then he can beat them. But Supermax needs to have a good Red Bull. And the Red Bull, in Monte Carlo, for sure, it wasn't at the par with the McLarens. It was pretty far away.
Well, what Max was saying was that the slow speed corners are really where they struggle, and even maybe some of the bumpier corners that's where they're going to struggle. So that's where they did struggle. Max, even Max, Super Max was only able to put the car in fifth, even though he started in fourth. He was at fifth in qualifying.
Correct, yeah.
What is it about low speed corners that makes a car like Red Bull bad and a car like Ferrari suddenly come alive. Ferrari's good at those tracks that are only slow and then when it's the corners are more diverse, they seem to struggle. But Leclerc was saying, "Oh, if the corners are only slow, we're good. We don't have to." And then we have the plank like in was it China, where then they had the plank wear problem and they have all sorts of balancing issues. Ride height stuff.
If I would know the result, they would pay me shitloads of money to fix it. But normally, sometimes cars I think it has to do with the ride height. When they can run higher, they have enough downforce and they have good grip levels as well, mechanical grip as well. And you have to. It's also a race car is a compromise between mechanical setup and aero setup, and maybe what Ferrari has done focused a little bit more on the slower corners, and therefore they are good there. And the other one said we focus on high-speed corners and make sure that we are stable there. And you never know exactly what you need, and sometimes you don't even know what you get. You develop something, and everything is prepared to do something, but aerodynamics are still, difficult to understand. So I don't know exactly what it is, but sometimes a car comes out which is very good on slow speed tracks, because when it runs maybe because on slow speed tracks normally you run higher because you are low speed as well. You have got good traction and everything, and you're good. And on high speed you need to be slow to the ground, especially with ground effect cars. And if the car is not stable there, you cannot do it because you don't have any confidence in the car.
So McLaren's ability to kind of be good across the board is what gives you that confidence that it's going to be the two of them.
They have no real weakness, Are they somewhere the best of the best? Maybe not, but they don't have any weakness. They've got a car which balances very good between low, medium, and high speed. It's always there.
You said you've been picking Oscar all year. Does this result change that? Do you still think Oscar Piastri's winning the World Championship?
Yes, I still pick Oscar Piastri. Okay. I stick with my man.
Yeah. So when you're in Monaco, are you bored as a team principal? Like when Haas is like 17th, 18th, trundling around, are you just falling asleep yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do as a team principal in last place in Monaco?
Hope that the race is finished soon. You just look at the laps counting down. Okay, another. and sometimes when you're really bored and there is an interesting race in front, you watch the race in front and you forget about your car, because whatever happens doesn't make a difference. But even that in Monaco is boring, as we found out. Watching the race.
Right. Well, this race was slower than normal because they had these boys, creating 30-second gaps for their teammate.
For the teammate, yeah.
What'd you think of that whole? I mean, I thought it was actually kind of it was ironic. What's even the word that in this race they're attempting to drive as slowly as possible. That it's a recession indicator that they are attempting to drive as slowly as possible at this race in order to give their teammate a pit window.
No, you cannot blame them. If that is the strategy you need to do to get points home, that is what you need to do. But the teams didn't make. I mean, the teams obviously agreed to the regulation, but they don't. They know. I mean, they try to get the points. That's the only thing you try to do there. How you do it, you don't care. You're not saying I go flat out for the fans. No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, James Vowles and Williams, they're apologizing. I'm like, don't apologize. It's not your fault.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what do you think about James Vowles texting Guenther, I'm sorry for holding up your cars during the race?
No, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
He did his job. He doesn't have to apologize, but they are British, So they apologize for everything, It's like... Does he really mean it? No, he doesn't give a fuck, Yeah. Oh, Toto, I'm so sorry. But I'm so happy I've got one more point than I should have,
Yeah.
Pretty proud of that one, And he can be. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I say, you don't have to apologize. He made the right decision for the team. There's nothing wrong with it. That's what he has to do in his position.
No
He's
British
paid to
bias in this podcast, bitches.
That's right. This is a British bias not welcome here.
Yeah,
But a lot of
and don't blame me if you have nobody subscribing from the UK anymore. You know, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
No, the cool ones, the cool Brits will subscribe to this.
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
The Brits that have a good sense of humor. But a lot of the drivers were kind of lamenting what they had to do in order to get points. Everyone was kind of apologetic after the race. What did you make of that?
It isn't nice to make points like this. And you know, if one starts, nobody's saying, I actually don't care about it. I got points, you know. No, I'm sorry as well. You know, it wasn't good, you know. In the end, everybody did their job. I mean, that's what they have to do. You know, and I honestly mean, you don't have to apologize. If that's what it is, that is what you have to do. I mean, it's like, okay, move on. You know, get your points, go home, and keep on back fighting, you know?
Yeah, Kevin Magnussen didn't apologize to anybody when he did that. He did it last year, right? He held up. He was brutal. What track did he do that in?
Oh,
where
yeah,
he held up everybody.
Miami, I think. Miami.
It was to get Hulkenberg 1 point.
Yeah,
he
Miami,
just held up the entire race.
Yeah, he kept cutting chicanes and stuff and everything. What did you think of when George Russell just kind of went rogue, cut the chicane, and said, "Fuck it, give me the 5 seconds. I don't care."
I understand that as well. It's just frustration. You have a Formula One car, and you need to go slow. It's like, fuck this. I just go. You know. I mean, I'm not getting points anyway, but he's not after points. He's after the podium. I'm nowhere, so I've nothing to lose. At least I go and enjoy myself. You know.
I wanted to ask about this. We've now had.
He didn't apologize for that, did he?
No.
George?
No. George Russell don't apologize. He might be British, but he doesn't apologize. I am curious. We've now had a few retirements, engine issues with Mercedes power units. This seems kind of crazy given that we're at the end of an engine reg. These engines have been so dependent, but now we've had an Aston out. We've had 2 Mercedes out in the last couple of races. What do you make of that?
Not good.
I mean, Matt and my theory is that they're so focused that they don't really care about these engines anymore. They're so focused on 2026. Is that not? What do you think?
No, because the engines now they are frozen since 2 years now. They're the second year frozen. It's very strange that they have got reliability problems, you know, because Mercedes normally is very good at that one. So I don't know. I don't know what broke, why they retired. The cars, obviously it was something with the PU, but I have no idea what it is. But it could be something, a batch of parts which isn't good, or I don't know. But they would not buy, because if you don't develop, you just have to do more of the same. And the Mercedes engine, I don't think they hardly changed anything from last year to this mechanically, you know. So I do not think that there is that they are relaxing. Oh, they are relaxing on this engine and putting the efforts in on the new one. That is the reason, you know. But it is very strange. And 2 Ferrari engines, the 2 Haas had problems. One blew up completely, and one had an issue. So it's very weird.
There has to be a reason why suddenly in an era of real reliability that all these engines are exploding, no? I feel like it's, you know, senior year, you know, and, you know, high school, you're about to graduate.
Thinking of the party,
Yeah, you start to not care so much. Going to college.
Matt, no. There must be something different. I don't know what it is, but it is very strange because it didn't happen for a long time that so many engine issues and failures that we had this many. It's in such a short period of time.
All right, guys, we're here to talk about our favorite sponsor, Dollar Shave Club. It's no surprise that facial hair is personal. It grows on your face. We all grow it, shave it, style it differently, and we think that's pretty fucking great. It all makes us more interesting. That's why in this club, we make the razors and you make the rules, baby. That's right. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Dollar Shave Club just made razors, but they do so much more than that. Whether you're going smooth shaven or maintaining a beard, Dollar Shave Club offers shave and grooming products that are always high quality and never, ever overpriced. Let me introduce you to some of their top sellers that we're going to make your grooming routine feel like a spa. First up, we got the Dollar Shave Club Series 6 Blade Razor. This isn't just any razor, okay? It's like a mini vacation for your face. With 6 stainless steel blades and vitamin E infused lubricant strip, the razor delivers the closest, most comfortable shave imaginable. It's so comfy, your skin might want to just take a nap afterwards. Plus, the precision trimmer is perfect for those little detail areas because we know how important those are. Also, they have an amazing series of products that prep your skin for your shave and take care of it after. We got the shave butter. It's the top-selling shaving aid. It's true. I use it, and it's so much more helpful than when you put all the white, puffy gunk on your face because you're like, am I even getting this stuff? This goes on clear so you can see exactly where you're shaving. But don't take our word for it, Vankahs. Try it for yourself at Dollar Shave Club. Products are now available everywhere, so you can order them from their website, Amazon, or get them at your favorite retailer near you. Alternatively, you can visit their site right now for 20% off, $20 or more. Get your products delivered right to your door. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/Red Flags and use the promo code Red Flags to get 20% off, $20 or more. And remember, whenever you shave, welcome to the club. All right, let's head over to our favorite segment, Gas or Break.
Lando is now the favorite to win the WDC.
Break. I said it before. My favorite is the Oscar Piastri.
I'm going break. I'm not buying Lando coin. It's too volatile. He wins Australia. Everyone thinks it's his championship. Everyone thought it was his championship last time. It's too much volatility. I'm off the Lando train. I've been off it. I'm never getting on it.
You've never been on it.
That's right. And I'm still never getting on it. I'm still never getting on it.
I am feathering the break. I'm not going full break. I think that Lando is streaky and Oscar is Johnny consistent.
You just want to be nice with both of them. I mean, it's feathering.
If Lando gets on a hot streak and can build some type of real lead, there's a world where this happens.
Too many ifs.
He hard launched the girlfriend. He's got the girlfriend. He's got stability at home. He's off social media. I like what I saw from my boy Lando Norris. I think that I still am favoring Oscar. Oscar, I think, is plus 140 to win the championship on BetMGM. Lando is plus 160. I think that is a correct association of where they're at, but they are very, very close. This was a big weekend for my boy. We'll see what happens in España. Next prompt.
Mercedes didn't have a plan for the Monaco pit stops.
Break. They had a plan. It just didn't work. I mean, they fucked qualifying up. They destroyed their plan. I mean,
what was the plan?
I mean, for sure it was not to mess qualifying up. It's just like it didn't go how it went. And then in Monaco, you cannot get out of it anymore. That's it. That's it. You're behind.
I'm going break. I think they
had a plan.
Their plan was to try something crazy.
Which was what? Wait for a red flag?
Yeah. But because they had nothing to lose. There was nothing to lose. I mean, otherwise they would end up where they were anyway. So wait for the red flag or safety car or whatever you want to wait for the hallelujah. But
I'm going slight gas. I think you got to have at least a little bit of like a backup plan. But Antonelli dropped to like last place because they left them out for so long. It was not even really an attempt. That's how it felt.
You're not a good strategist behind. They knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah,
wait for a red.
Yeah, that's the only thing they did. That was their plan. That's why I say they had a plan, but it didn't work. They messed up qualifying, and then in the race, it's just like what they tried to do. There was no safety car. That's it.
What'd you think of Antonelli crashing in qualifying?
Yeah, I think he was not the only one which crashed over the weekend. So it is always a circuit where crashing a little mistake, you crash and make big damage. Obviously, he's a rookie, so I mean, if he does it next year. I think I started out
in the race.
Yeah, what'd you think of what him him and Bortoleto. The only overtake that happened on track was Bortoleto taking him around Parabolica and then Kimi, overtaking him right after that and forcing him into the barriers. Did you think that was a little bit sketch, or do you think that was all clean?
No, it was a little bit sketchy, and it was no need for it, I mean, what were they fighting for? Both rookies, they should have both tried to get as many laps in as possible, so next year they're better prepared, because they couldn't get to the points anyway where they were between the two of them. One of the things is just like, again, young people, I guess Kimi wasn't happy being overtaken by a Sauber, and took more risk than he should have taken to get him back, and Bortoleto paid the price for it,
Is his leash too long?
Kimi's.
Toto, it's like you crash in FP1, no big deal. You put it on pole in the sprint race. Oh, my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Then you crash in the sprint race. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a mini race. Who cares? I mean, when do you need to do you think Toto's given him too long a leash?
I think you could have an argument there, because if he's got a lot of rope, Toto will protect you and he's doing the right thing. But if it doesn't work out, at some stage there will be a repercussion, and saying, hey, this is not good enough. And I think that is coming the second half of the season. He's a rookie, so as I always say, you need to give these guys a little bit of, freedom to make mistake, because they will. But if the second half of the season continue doing like this,
when does the rookie excuse end? I mean,
next year.
Next year, you think next year he's got to prove himself?
Absolutely, there is no excuse anymore next year for none of them.
Do you think there's a world where if he doesn't perform, that he's out and they bring in Max and they keep George?
Could easily be. You never know. In the end, Mercedes is not here. As I always say, the team is a driver is part of the team. Mercedes is not here to train drivers. Mercedes is here to win. And they need to have the best guy in the car they can have. And if it is not Kimi, for sure, Toto, he likes him, he loves him, he's a good kid, and I wouldn't write him off yet, just to make that one clear, I think he's got, he can show us a lot of things, but if it doesn't happen, I think he's just treated like everybody else end of the year. If it doesn't happen that he made proper progress, could be that he has to look for another job. I mean, he's just one part of the team.
Right. Let's do our next gas or break.
Hadjar is Rookie of the Year.
How you say, Brian? I feathered the throttle.
Feathered
the throttle.
In your Pelote shoes, you feather the throttle. Because you can really feel that pedal with that soft sole of the Pelotes, yeah.
Exactly. I can really get the feeling. I think he's on the way there, but again, I don't want to jump too early on it, and then he starts to make stupid mistakes, like a lot of the rookies do. When they had a few good races, all of a sudden they think they are now the next world champion. If he gives himself enough time, I think he could be by the end of the year the Rookie of the Year, because what he showed, except the crash in Australia, was all good.
Right. I'm fully committing to I'm not feathering. I'm not pussyfooting around in my Pelote shoes. I'm putting the pedal through the floor. I mean, who is he competing with? Kimi, he's got a lot of talent, but he makes a lot of mistakes. We've got Behrman, who's been okay. Bortoleto, who's been stuck in a Sauber. We haven't really seen much from him. Colapinto just got here. One of them's already gone.
Doing.
I mean, who am I missing?
Lawson.
Lawson. I mean, Lawson, he's been beating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think I went through them all. I think it's got to be Hadjar.
Yeah, I'm going full gas as well. My Pelote shoes are not needed for this one. I could do this one in my Timberlands. I pedal to the metal. This kid's got what it takes. I like how he's bounced back. I think he's got the perfect amount of kind of like vulnerability combined with killer instinct. I think that he cares. I think in a way that feels like he cares more than these other guys. It feels like he wants it. And he's been performing. He's been consistent. Now we'll see what happens next year if they put him in that absolute nightmare of a second Red Bull. But I think they should absolutely keep him at VCARB for a couple years and let him develop. But I think that right now he is clearing away the Rookie of the Year. That's
what I want to ask. Is Hadjar potentially the victim of his own success, Guenther? And they're going to, because Arvin Lindblad's going to come up. They're very attracted to him. They find him appealing. Is he a victim of his own success in that they're just going to be like, oh, he's the next great thing. Let's throw him in the Red Bull seat. What do you think of that?
Could be. I mean, if Yuki doesn't sharpen his pencil and get better, I think that could happen. And Hadjar is doing a good job, They have to bring somebody into the which can stand up to Max, because Max will not be there forever. At some stage, you need to, with all the people you try, there needs to be one in which can do it, And I think they just go through. And as you said, if Yuki is leaving, because of Honda is leaving as well, and the performance isn't there, they say, hey, let's put Hadjar in there and put Lindblad in the Racing Bulls. Why not? Because I don't think that they will put, again, a rookie in the Red Bull.
Right.
But how do they learn when are they going to learn their lesson, though? That just throwing spaghetti at the wall is not going to do it.
Yeah, but what do you need to do? I mean, they tried with an experienced driver, with Checo Perez. He didn't do it. So what can you do? Just start with one car. I mean, that's the next solution.
Yes.
I mean, you need to keep on trying to do things and see who makes it. And if you find the guy which makes it, you found a Rockstar. Why
does it feel like Monaco in this way, where they try to do something new in that seat and it just doesn't work? That, it's Monaco. It's the same story every year. Feels like that second Red Bull seat. It's the same story ever since Weber left. Ever since Ricciardo left, really. It's just been the same story, different guy. Feels apropos. Next prompt.
Lewis's engineer won't finish the year working with him.
Gas.
Wow. You think there's been a lot of tension over the radio. It hasn't been going well. You think Lewis makes a call and says, "Fred, I want."
No, maybe not, because I know his racing engineer very well from the Minardi days, Ricky. Very good guy. But maybe he says, this is not for me. This is too much, because he's, maybe he doesn't like it. And maybe he says, give me another job in the factory, or give me another job to do for the race team. And, that's why I think it is. Maybe sometimes these changes is not to say somebody is bad. It's also to make a change. Maybe they click better or something like this. You need to try to do things. And it's not like that Luis said Riccardo Adami is useless. Maybe they're just different characters, And, there is no... And obviously it must be difficult for Luis, after so long with one race engineer, to find somebody which as a character is different,
Right.
No, I don't think it is because he doesn't bring the, he cannot set the car up, or he doesn't give him that one. It's more like maybe there is somebody better at Ferrari to speak with Luis, not on the radio in general, and I don't know how they are outside of the radio connection, how they get on, but sometimes a change is good for both parties, and I don't think Riccardo Adami would have a problem if they change him. He can find a job easy. He's very good, And he will. I think he stays at Ferrari doing something different. He's a very well-respected guy.
But it seems like the community, like Charles has already replaced his guy. This guy Brian's new. He had a guy before, I forgot his name, that he was always harping on. So they replaced him with this other guy named Brian. And this guy Brian, he's add that to the words of wisdom. He's always getting frustrated with him. And Lewis comes in. He's having all these alleged, now famous spats with Ricciardo over the radio, going down the tunnel. He's saying, "Are you mad at me?" or something, like kind of, and he's asking him questions about being a minute behind, and he's getting different answers, and he's like, "Dude, why don't you just answer my question?" And And I guess my question is it any of these guys' fault individually, or is there some kind of institutional problem that sort of forces the disconnect? We know that everybody's afraid of making a wrong decision. So like when we get the "we are checking" thing, or is it a language barrier? These guys, the English isn't a first language. Like, what do you think is causing these problems? Because it doesn't seem like it's just a Ricardo Lewis thing.
I think a little bit the expectation is causing a problem between all of it. The expectation of Ferrari is always very high. As soon as it and I think now also with Ferrari, there is a lot of focus how it is spoken there. I think if you would go into other teams, teams further down the order, there are very similar conversations, and it doesn't mean that they have fallen out. It's just like when you're racing and you're frustrated. That is what you do. I mean, it's normal that people say, "Hey, what's going on?" And always, as you said, Ricardo didn't answer his question. Are they a minute in front or something like this? And he answered about I don't know what. Right, what kind of?
There was some dissembly happening. Yeah.
I think I listened back to that. I think that maybe what happened there was that he thought that he said is he a minute ahead. I think that maybe he thought he said is Charles on mediums, like minute medium. I think maybe that's what happened because I listened back to that and I was like, oh, I could maybe think that he misheard that, but it definitely goes. It speaks to the growing tension there.
I didn't hear that one. I didn't hear that one, Brian. I think it was pretty clear I could hear clearly.
He was just avoiding. You think 100% he was just avoiding telling.
I think he just was avoiding to answer.
That's just so stupid. Then it's just like, why would you do? It's just
But maybe Ricardo is used.
He doesn't want to deliver bad news.
Exactly. Yeah, but maybe he's one of these guys. There is guys. There is guys.
Like a child.
But I say,
treating him like a fucking child. He's not going to like that. He's a grown man.
But some people do not like to give you bad news, and maybe Ricardo decided that he's a very good engineer. Just didn't want to having to deal with why I'm a minute behind, So he said I tell him something different. I don't know, It's one of these things. But the medium thing, I'm not. I didn't hear the medium thing in there. I mean, I think
I don't. I tried, guys. I tried. Fred's over here telling me he's giving me instructions.
Okay,
I'm doing Ferrari propaganda. All right, Matt, gas or brake? Gas or brake on Lewis's engineer?
I'm going gas. I'm going gas. I agree. One more question. Not to be racist towards Italians, but you look down the pit wall. A lot of Englishmen doing a lot of fluent English speakers doing that job. They're speaking English on the radio. Do we need just English speakers in those roles if they're going to all be speaking English?
Is the language barrier getting in the way?
Is the language barrier where you got to make quick decisions in speaking English?
I mean, this guy, since Ricardo speaks English since, 30, I know him at least 20 years, or 23 or 24 years I know him. His English is pretty good, And the English in a race car is not this complex. I mean, it's not Shakespearean English, It's like the balance. It's about the balance, about the wing, about which tires, how many laps. There is a car coming. There is traffic in front of you. There is traffic behind you. I mean, it's always the same thing. I mean, you're not discussing the future of the world on radio,
Lando's engineer, he gives a Shakespearean soliloquy every race. It's like 10 paragraphs long. But anyway,
why do they make them? I mean, Charles speaks Italian. They speak Italian. It's like, why are they not allowed to speak on the
rest
radio
of the
Italian?
team? The rest of the team, not everybody speaks Italian, so you need to speak English. I mean, Fred speaks Italian, but I don't think he.
His Italian is not very good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
sure. All right, I'm going gas as well. Let's go to our last gas or break.
Lance is not the worst driver on the grid.
I'm thinking who could be worse. No, I always say he's not a bad driver. I got more an issue with his attitude than with his driving. No, I think it's an attitude thing. It's like he doesn't really seem to enjoy himself or try to give the fans some joy. It's like, oh, I've got a shit job. No, you have not. So, I don't know. But, I don't think there is a clear worst driver. There is no shit driver on the track anymore. You know, and there's nobody. That's why I don't know what to say. I think I left for brake and I keep the throttle on.
You're double.
Yeah, I'm doubling.
You're doing
No,
donuts.
I would say for 1 year, for this year, I would say gas.
Yeah, but
I
he
would
has
say-
he has more points than Alonso.
Well,
Right.
gas
For
means
this-
that he's not the worst.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah,
got
yeah.
it wrong. Yeah.
So it's a little
Guess
hard with the double negatives, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not your first language, Guenther. That's the problem.
See, I feel like I'm in a Ferrari car right now.
Yeah.
What did you say? What did you say? Good,
gotta
bad,
check.
good, 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 or bad.
Gunther's checking.
Yeah,
Gunther's
We are
checking.
checking.
So I would say for this year, like 1 year, you need a driver for 1 year. I don't think he's the worst choice because he's got so much experience. You know, if I was doing a draft for drivers for one season, he wouldn't be my last pick.
Right.
You know, I think Bortoletto might be my last pick right now because I haven't seen, he's made some mistakes, maybe Lawson. He seems.
I'm more with Lawson. I was thinking about Lawson,
Yeah.
but then again, Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
But there is no really bad driver, you know, that you
Right.
say clearly, wow, this guy's a wanker. No, they're all pretty good, you know. But somebody
but for
needs
the
to be
next-
the worst one.
But for the next 5 years, let's say I get to have this driver forever, he would be my last pick because he's got the least upside.
Yeah, and he has no joy. I mean,
Yes.
and he's not even fucking funny, you know.
I feel like his friends would say he actually is funny if you got to know him. I'm gonna go gas as well. I think there's other guys who I would pick last on the playground right now. I think right now Colapinto, right now Lawson, right now Bortoletto, they're in there. But you know we'll see where
That's
they
Brian
end up.
Muller saying that, not either of us. saying-
Right now, he's getting if I for
The
this
man
next race.
the man who knows it all.
Yeah.
Brian Muller.
That's me. All right, that does it for our perfect segment. That is gas or brake. Let's go to Rockstar and Wanker for the Monaco GP. Guenther, who was your Rockstar for this race?
Lando. Didn't put a foot wrong. Fair play to him. Was the best, you know. Did everything what he needed to do. Start with qualifying. Put perfect race together. Didn't fuck anything up.
He almost did that turn one when all four of his tires went up.
Almost. Again, almost. And maybe there's, I mean, you know.
But he didn't.
He didn't.
And that's
He kept it clean,
matters.
you know. That was matters.
He brought it home, and he didn't say simply lovely at the end of it. All good things from our boy Lando. All right, who's your Wanker for Monaco?
Gasly. Because what he did, you shouldn't be doing.
Oh, driving with a broken
driving.
car?
Yeah. That's a no-no. I
Just
think
walking through the house with shit on your shoe.
Yeah, I mean, and he knows better than that. He, you know, he has been in a situation when other people did this stupid shit, you know, and then you just park it somewhere and walk home. Why are you driving around? It's dangerous. It's like it's not good. It wasn't good for him.
Right.
So
Why
And-
did he do it, you think?
no idea. I don't know if he wanted to fix the car. I don't know what he tried to do. I couldn't see
Right.
why. It's just like a brain freezer, you know.
I mean, he's been having quite the year. Matt and I were discussing this. You know, he's having these kind of flashy moments and then crashing, and then, you know, whether it's through his fault or the fault of the team, it feels like this Alpine should have a lot more points, but Gasly's the person, you know, giving them hope and them dashing their dreams. What are you making of Gasly's performance this year?
Yeah, it's either high or low. There's nothing in between. There's never. I mean, he has got some qualifying performances with that car because the car is not good, you know, or the engine is not good. Say like this, you know,
Yeah.
but he's putting some perfect. I mean, going into Q3 once qualified fourth, I think, something stupid like this, you know. Yeah, and then again, Monte Carlo. It's just like everything. What can go wrong, what you can do wrong happens, you know. So I don't know.
He's had like 3 or 4 incidents this year. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
quite a few.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but maybe he's always driving beyond the car, you know, over driving it because the car is so bad and he just wants to get something out of it, and it's always on the knife's edge and falls off the other side normally, you know.
So we're going to do your top 5 favorite F1 tracks because Monaco better not be on there. I don't think it will be. But before we get to that, we got to discuss the shoe game that was happening at Monaco, specifically the shoe game of one Adam Norris. Papa Norris was rocking two different color shoes in Monaco. What do you think about that, Guenther?
Did he give a reason why he did it? Or
I don't know. I think maybe is this a new European fashion trend?
No.
You have to tell us.
No, I think it's one of these. Some drivers, was there not a driver which wore always different color shoes? I think there was, or socks maybe, something like this. I think Alexander Wurz used different color socks or something like this, or shoes. I don't remember. Yeah, but I don't know. If I see him in Barcelona, I'm going to ask him and tell you next time. I normally run into him at some stage during a Grand Prix, Adam.
Right.
So I ask him.
Then I get.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, you go.
Or maybe he couldn't find the shoes in the morning. Maybe he's colorblind. There could be a lot of reasons,
Well, I guess the question is, if this is the new trend, Guenther, and you were going to have to start rocking two different colored shoes.
I would buy two pairs of Pilates. Oh,
okay, but which? All right, we got the shifts, which have the widest color range. Which two colors are you rocking?
Blue and yellow. Put
These
them
two?
together. Yeah.
We are the New York Knicks, dude. Let's go. Guenther, you're honorary New Yorker. Do you know what this means? Knicks and 6. I like it. The blue shifts, rocking with the orange. I think you would look fresh in that. Fresh to death.
Give Adam a run for his money. Mr.
Give
Norris.
Adam a run for his money.
Anytime,
Rake the fashion internet with your pelote kicks. I don't know if you're aware of this, but pelote are for the hardcore racing fan, and they're also for those who appreciate motorsport culture, lifestyle, and the personalities that make it exciting, just like pelote. Whether you're a weekend track junkie or just love the style of motorsport, pelote bridges the gap between high-performance driving gear and everyday wear, like a finance bro who secretly loves Lewis Hamilton and his style. Live for once, finance bro! You can have personality, finance bro. It's okay to live a little with your pelotes. And if you want a pelote of your own, you can go to pelote.com/discount/Vankah and use the code Vankah, Vankah, for an extra 15% off your order today. Once again, that's pelote.com/discount/Vankah. Okay, Monaco just happened.
Yeah.
Track bad for racing. Guenther, can you give us your top 5 Formula One tracks?
But you want them as a racetrack or just as a combination, because there's a lot more than racing at the racetrack going on these days, So, how we do this?
I think for racing, this what made Monaco bad was that the racing was bad.
Oh shit, yeah.
What are the best tracks in terms? I know that you're on the pit, you're not in the car, but what are the best tracks for the pure racing fan?
I think Spa.
And they don't have to be current tracks. They can be tracks that aren't on the calendar anymore.
No, I try to get the ones out which are not good for racing. I think Baku is pretty good. Brazil is another one, yeah. Brazil is another one is pretty good, yeah, for racing.
What do we think of Silverstone?
Monza's one of my faves. Silverstone people love.
Silverstone, yeah. Silverstone is very good for racing, yeah. Absolutely.
People love Coda, Circuit of the Americas.
Coda as well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Then 5.
Okay.
Spa, Silverstone, Coda, Baku, and what was the 5th?
Brazil,
yeah. You see?
So what's your favorite of those 5?
Spa. As a racetrack, not as an event, just to make the...
Not when it rains and they don't refund anyone their money.
Yeah.
And there then, when you're waiting 2 hours to get out of the racetrack, in the rain, you're cold,
right.
No.
Okay, Spa number 1. The best racing track on the calendar, followed by
next time we do
4.
Yeah. Next time we do the best racetrack for a weekend.
For vibes.
Vibes, yeah.
For vibes, okay.
Vibes, yeah.
Yeah, so stick around for that. You'll get more vibe tracks from Guenther and Vankah Hours. Okay, Spain coming up. Flexi wings out. McLaren advantage decimated. What do you think's going to happen at the Spanish Grand Prix? We need your predictions, Guenther, for Spain.
Oscar? Lando and George.
Okay. Matt?
I'm going Max. I'll
switch off now.
Got some fast corners there. I'm going Max. I'm going Oscar, and I'm going Lando.
I am going Lando. He keeps the momentum rolling. I am going George second. I'm going Oscar third. Lando takes the lead of the World Drivers' Championship in España. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? We'll see what happens. This has been Vankah Hours, brought to you by BetMGM. Until next week, Vankahs.
Goodbye, Wankers.
Goodbye, Vankahs.